If you could do one thing with your favorite celebrity, what would it be? Eat dinner? Plan a movie with them? Rob their home? Obviously the last one. Well, that's already been done apparently. This is 2013's The Bling Ring. Spoiler alert, while I might be giving you my opinion on the film, that's no substitute for watching it for yourself. Links to the film are in the description. And for those of you that need to hear this is just a movie. All stunts are for the sake of story and shouldn't be attempted on your own. Viewer discretion is advised. We start off watching a whole car of teenaged girls and a boy hop the fence of a fancy estate, and they make their way up the driveway. When they get to the house, they find an unlocked sliding door, and they head inside to steal whatever they can. They clean out the closets of the shoes, purses, and even panties. Later, we see that the boy's name is Mark, and he and the girls are posting pictures of the fancy stuff on social media. I hate to say this, but this movie's based on real events in California. Some teenagers really thought it was a good idea to rob their favorite celebrity. Feel like I have to repeat that advisory from a little bit ago. Don't try this at home, it's not gonna end well. Sure enough, we meet Nikki as she speaks to the press about her beliefs on karma, and she believes that the situation was put in her life as a learning lesson. 1 year earlier, Nikki and Sam are woken up by their mother, and they talk about how out of control they were the night before. When they go downstairs, they have to answer to Lori, who knows that they were out late the night before. After doing their morning prayer, we cut to Mark, who's getting ready for school, and his mom drops him off on his first day at a new school. He's not very welcome throughout most of the day, but he's eventually welcomed by Rebecca, who asks him about his previous school. Yet Rebecca doesn't seem like the best influence either. She invites him to go to the beach after school, and I have to say that Rebecca's friend Chloe goes hard. She's not missing a beat of this rap, and she's going harder than the music is. Then as they get on the beach, they light one up. Still, Rebecca's probably the best friend he could have asked for at the school after seeing some of the others. Rebecca tells Mark that she wants to go to fashion school when she graduates, and then she invites Chloe and Mark over to her house that night since her parents are out of town. They go through some fashion magazines, and Rebecca takes him out into the street to check some cars. That's exactly what it sounds like. She literally walks down the street checking to see if any cars are unlocked. Then she just takes purses and whatever's valuable out of them. Is this what kids do to pass the time nowadays? Rich kids at that? They end up walking away with about $400. And we flash forward to Mark getting questioned about how he met Rebecca. He tells her that he never saw himself as an A-lister teen, and he liked hanging out with her. We go back and see that Rebecca and Mark are getting along pretty well, and she asks him if he knows anyone that's out of town. After he tells her about one guy that's out of town, he takes her to the kid's house, and she just walks right in to look around. Rebecca literally walks around and starts grabbing stuff without a care. She's not even worried about cameras or alarms or anything. Then she just walks out with a purse that's probably worth more than my car, all the cash from a cash box, and the keys to the sports car out front. I feel like the whole city's probably so used to her shenanigans, they probably wake up in the morning and are surprised to find that their car and stuff is exactly where they left it the night before. Mark and Rebecca go on a shopping spree, and they continue their joyride through the city. That night, the two of them head to a club with Chloe, and they meet up with Sam and Nikki. When Mark looks around the club, he finds that it's full of celebrities, and Nikki talks about going to meet up with Jude Law later. After an exhilarating night, Mark goes home to post some pictures to social media, and he lies in bed thinking about the night. The next day, Mark meets up with Rebecca, and we hear him admit that he loved her like a sister. After school, Mark looks through all of the celebrity news, and he finds that Paris Hilton will be away for a party she's hosting. Rebecca has him look up Paris's address, and she tells him that they should go there at night. They're startled by Paris's pet monkey, but after that they go right through the house and scope the place out. Mark tries to talk Rebecca into leaving, but when she finds Paris's wardrobe, there's no way she's leaving empty-handed. Before Rebecca agrees to leave, she has Mark take a picture of her with some stuff. Finally, they head to a party that the rest of the girls are hanging at, and she shows off some of the things that she snatched. We flash forward to Nikki explaining that she didn't know what they were doing, and she blames it all on the types of friends she had at the time. She's the biggest liar yet. She's the one that literally told Rebecca she wanted to go to Paris's because she just needed to rob something. Sure enough, the whole group goes to Paris's house, and Rebecca gives them the grand tour. When they get to the shoe closet, everyone grabs a pair of their own, and Rebecca finds a secret jewelry closet that's filled to the brim with gold, silver, and diamonds. They even find Polaroids of Paris that they think they can sell. They end up going to the nightclub room where they enjoy drinks and a pole dance by Nikki before stumbling back down the driveway. The next day, she tells Rebecca that her levels were off the charts, but she's out for now. After school, Mark goes home to enjoy some quiet time while picking out his outfits for the week, but he gets a text from Rebecca saying that they should go back to Paris's. This time when they leave, they hide in the bushes because security shows up, but they end up getting away still. On their way down the road, Rebecca decides to check a random car, and she finds drugs inside. On their way home, they snort the powder and sing songs all the way. Later on, Rebecca watches an interview with Audrina from the Hills, and she has Mark look up her address. Dude, Mark, stop doing her dirty work. Well, Rebecca and Mark go to Audrina's house, and they quickly grab as much stuff as they can before rushing out again. When they get home, they have the other girls over and they go through everything. They try on all the clothes and makeup while they take pictures to post, and the next day they set up a table at the park to sell some of the things that they stole. The next time they go for a heist, they pick Megan Fox's house, and Nikki brings her little sister Emily. Chloe stays outside to be the lookout, but inside, Mark starts to get antsy. Nikki looks under the bed and finds a gun, and her and Sam start playing around with it. Sam teases Mark with the gun, but he's not too keen on the gun being in his face. Yeah, I wouldn't be too keen on that either. She obviously popped some pills from the bathroom, and she's the most unstable of all of them so far. Just to further prove my point, when they leave, she sneaks into her boyfriend's bedroom window and teases him with the gun. Only he plays along and she fires the gun. Does that stop anything? Of course not. They still get it on, but it was that easy for her to misfire? The heists continue whenever a new hot celebrity shows that they're out of town. Next is Miranda Kerr, and they walk backwards up the driveway to hide their faces from the camera. At a later heist, Mark gets caught on camera though. The group goes on their usual routine as though everything's okay, and Mark goes with Chloe to meet a guy to sell some watches he got at one of the houses. After striking a deal for $5,000, Mark heads to the bathroom to snort some coke with Rebecca before coming out to rejoin the party. No one has a care in the world as they drink, dance, and show off their money. This might be that glorious moment before the fall. And considering everything they've done, they're about to fall hard. Mark and the girls walk down the streets the next day dressed to impress, and they look like no one can touch them. They even take Sam's boyfriend up to Paris's place, and he looks around to see what he can find. Later, Mark helps Nikki with her wardrobe, but he gets a call from Rebecca to turn on the news. The news shows footage of the time Rebecca and Nikki broke into Audrina's house. And now Mark is really stressing out about the possibility of getting caught. Later, Mark meets up with Chloe and Rebecca at the beach, and Rebecca mentions that she wants to hit up another house. Mark and Chloe tell her that she should probably try to chill out since the news report, but Rebecca doesn't care. The whole crew gathers to steal from another house that night, but suddenly they see lights outside the window, so they grab what they can and rush out of the house. The only one that didn't come is Chloe. Well, apparently nothing really happened, so Rebecca's going to think she's invincible. Sure enough, they just keep going. They don't even bother telling us whose house they go to anymore. All of them, it looks like. And it looks like they take all the shoes in the world and all the coke one nose can handle, which is apparently a lot. Rebecca's ultimate white whale is Lindsay Lohan, and they eventually hit her house. What they don't see is that they're on camera leaving the house. Later, Mark takes Rebecca to the airport, and she heads to Vegas to stay with her dad for a while. On the news, it turns out that multiple celebrities have come forward to give them footage of security cameras catching hooded figures entering their houses. Well, that's all it takes for people to start whispering. Many of the classmates that saw the groups at parties told the police exactly what they had heard. Suddenly, police show up at Mark's house with a search warrant, and they find all of the stolen property that he still kept. The same thing happened at Lori's house, but they only got news that Nikki was involved. Nikki's arrested and taken in along with the stolen goods. Everyone is getting taken in. Sam's boyfriend, the club owner that bought the Rolexes, Chloe. The only one that wasn't arrested was Sam. When Mark is sat down to be questioned, they ask him if he knew that Rebecca left the state to leave him taking all the blame, and Mark tells him that he really just thought she was going to stay with her dad. Well, the police get a warrant to search Rebecca's father's house, and they find just enough of the goods to place her under arrest too. Now the whole crew, minus Sam, await trial with Rebecca, thought to be the ringleader of the bling ring. When brought in for questioning, Rebecca just wanted to know what Lindsay Lohan had to say about all this. Finally, everyone's let out on bail, and Kate from Vanity Fair comes to visit Nikki. Kate asks a bunch of questions about Nikki, and Nikki definitely takes this chance to try and throw out a positive light on her side of the story. Next, Kate goes to ask Mark about what all this has done for his reputation, and he shows that he has quite the following since America has some sort of sick fascination with Bonnie and Clyde aspects. Can't lie, I'm guilty of that too. I do the best I can to keep drama out of my life, but I love looking into drama of other people's lives. Sorry, why do you think televised trials are such a big hit with people that aren't even fans of law or trials? Yeah, that's right, I'm talking about the Johnny vs. Amber trial as a recent example. I watched it too. After some preparations, Nikki and her family head to the court for the trial, and she addresses the media as they wait for the others to arrive. Chloe doesn't address any of them, and Mark ends up getting some of the blunt questions thrown at him. He also doesn't answer. When they all sit in court, Rebecca shows up and sits down next to Mark without saying a word. Then the trial happens, and within seconds we find out that all of them are found guilty. Rebecca and Mark are found guilty of 4 counts of burglary, while the others only get 1 count. But they're all sentenced to a year for each count. It's crazy to think how quickly this all blew out of proportion. This all started with Rebecca checking the cars outside her party, then she jumps straight to Paris Hilton. What's even funnier is the fact that Nikki's next seen in an interview after she spent 30 days in a cell with Lindsay Lohan. Go figure. The interviewer asked about her experience inside, and Nikki actually found a way to turn things around. Then she tells the audience to follow her story at NikkiMoreForever.com. Then, the credits roll. You already know I have to do this. I'm gonna check out that website right now to see if it's real. It's definitely something. Maybe the website had been something back when the movie came out, because now it just talks about how they did at the Cannes Festival. Still, it's a cool little connection. I'm more amazed at the fact that this is actually based on a true story. Teenagers actually did this and got away with it for so long too. Jeez, give it a shot. The movie, not house burglarizing. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more like this one. Comment what you think I should watch next, and I'll see you in the next video.